can proceed. We are live.
Hello, Masters. Namaste. Welcome to day 36. So, today I'm here to share about a well-renowned author, Thich Nhat. So, a couple of, not couple of weeks, like a week before, I have read a book called Silence. I hope you are able to see, which is How to Quiet Our Mind in the World Full of Noise, which is written by Thich Nhat. And immediately I have felt like I need to share about this author, because in this book I have really learned about the essence of silence and how we have to be open and how the world is interconnected. So when I have came to know about this author, his works are profound. His teachings are very profound. His works are impeccable. So this is one of the reasons that I have felt to share about this author to each and every one of you, to share his some of the notable works of what he have did, and why they are called so-called renowned leaders. So Thich Nhat Hanh, how we need to pronounce in the Vietnam. So he's from Vietnam, and his name is pronounced as Thich Nhat Hanh. So he's a Zen master, and he's a global spiritual leader. He's a poet. He's a peace activist. He's a renowned teacher for his powerful teachings, and he's the best seller for the books where he wrote significantly on mindfulness and peace. And also he collaborated with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he called him an apostle of peace and nonviolence when nominating for the Nobel Peace Prize. And he has been exiled from Vietnam for nearly 4 decades. And again, how he went back and thought about Buddhism and mindfulness to the West. So this is where we will know about one of his greatest works now. So he was born in the year 1926 in the central Vietnam, and he is known as Thai. So Thai means in that language teacher. So he's very well known as Thai. He's a monk. From his early years itself, he's very aware, very much deeply about the suffering that which brought the conflict by dividing the country. And since he is a Buddhist monk at a young age, he dedicated his life not only for the spiritual path, but also he have felt to heal the people, because he have seen the wounds, he have seen the suffering of the people when the war is happening, how the hatred is increasing, and how the misunderstandings are happening. So he decided also to lay a foundation for all these people, like by building the community, and with his teachings as well. So in 1960s, as the Vietnam War escalated, he he raised a voice for peace, that which led him more courageous. And in the year 1966, he have went to United States to bring the peace, to associate with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., so that because he is also a leader who have a shared vision of the world based on the non-violence and compassion. That is how their friendship has been built, and their friendship was very profound. And as I said, in the year 1967, Dr. King nominated Thai for the Nobel Peace Prize. Later that year, in his speech, Dr. King quoted Thai's Lotus or Inner Sea Fire, calling for an end to war. So they united to bring an end to the war by uniting the civil rights and peace movements. And on behalf of this friendship, Dr. King famously marched the Thais, based on the Thais message in both English and Vietnamese, that men are not the enemy. Our enemy is hatred, our enemy is discrimination, fanaticism, and violence. This is how they marched by putting so-called banners with the Thais message, Thai is Thich Nhat Hanh, and they stated that men are not anyone's enemy. And again, they have met for the second time in Geneva, which deeply rooted their shared vision. And they started to build a community. They started to have a vision to build a community for reconciliation, justice, tolerance, and inclusiveness as well, so that enemies also can become friends. However, tragically, in less than a year, Dr. King got assassinated. However, listening to this, Thai got devastated, and he felt that he needs to proceed with this shared dream. And then how he shaped up his entire life's work from then onwards, that made his work more profound. So following his exile from Vietnam, then Thai got settled in Paris, where he continued his peace activism at the Paris peace talks, and then officially representing the Buddhist peace delegation as well. And majorly, his community is supported for war orphans. And by 1975, nearly 20,000 donors from the Europe and US supported more than 10,000 Vietnamese orphans. So majorly, he touched the lives of the people who got the panic attacks through the war, and how they became orphan, and they supported hugely with by implementing the mindfulness practices and compassion, that he said that these kind of techniques should be incorporated into every activity. And he spoke widely about mindfulness, like from making phone calls and washing dishes, emphasizing that no, the mindfulness is about living moment to moment, is about slowing down ourselves, is about breathing the moment, is about enjoying the moment perfectly on what we are doing. And during the weekends, he used to go to the public as well to teach the meditation sessions, mainly to attract the young seekers. And he also co-organized Europe's first environmental conference in France, addressing the global issues also like pollution and population as well. And this laid his commitment not only about the Buddhist teachings or also about the mindfulness practices, but at the same time, he laid a foundation for the deep ecology as well, saying that life is interconnected and Earth's well being is inseparable from our own, that everyone is interconnected through the thoughts or through the actions. So one person can impact the another person as well. This is what his teachings are all about. And also at the same time, one of the profound notable work is that in the year 1975, after completing the Miracle of Mindfulness manual, which is basically written for the workers in Vietnam to maintain the spiritual strength. But however, this has reached towards the West, and it became one of the most profound manual for mindfulness by incorporating into everyday activities. And this manual has been published over 30 languages. So immediately after this, he had a calling to also save the people who are risking their lives with storms and pirates, because he also did some research on the oceans and how people are going towards. And with this mission, he has nearly saved over 800 people as well adrift in the dangerous waters. However, there was an opposition from the UN and the governments to shut down their rescue operations. But however, Thai's efforts have demonstrated hugely of, it's not just preaching, but he's the living epitome of embodying the compassion. So that's what his works teach us more profoundly about. And in the year 1982, finally, he realized the the peaceful protest based on like how to end the war based on the anger and divisiveness. So that's where he did a march leading to a slow based march, and he observed the crowd's impatience as well. And then he decided the true peace, can be obtained with the transformation from within. And the transformation should begin with the mind and the heart, that we should be connected with the heart to take any sort of decisions. And his famous line during those march is that he emphasized, even if we transport all the missiles to another planet also, still we are unsafe, because the roots of war are also in the collective consciousness. This is one of the reasons that collectively, when someone meditates and when someone practices mindfulness rigorously by expressing gratitude, there will be shift in the entire consciousness, in the entire planet Earth, not just for themselves, but helping towards shaping up the entire world. This is what his teachings are all about. And that's where he started to build a community and also the retreats. And he started to um, incorporate mindfulness to the schools as well, so that the children learn right from the beginning. And he helped many people by healing and by touching their lives. So when they started this community is that in the year 1982, um, Thich Nhat Hanh and his followers, they founded a farm in the southwest France, which was surrounded by plum trees. And that's where they named the community called Plum Village. And in the over the next decades, like after 1982, this became the largest Buddhist retreat center in the West, hosting thousands of people each year. And here he started to create the innovative retreat formats, like by combining the sitting and walking meditation with mindful eating. And he incorporated service based meditation as well, which means like how we have to work mindfully in the kitchen or in the garden, and how we can, with the presence of ours, how we can also incorporate mindfulness just by sitting, just by not doing anything, just by breathing, just by living in that moment, and also of group discussions. And majorly, he emphasized also on the ethics of how one should be mindful. And his retreats majorly nurtured the seeds of about the global mindfulness movement, and he influenced many well-renowned teachers as well. Later on, his mission expanded even towards the US as well, and his retreats went to US. And for the first time, he have coined the term called interbeing, like how interconnectedness of all things became, just like how IoT has been coined recently. So he coined the term called interbeing. And he thought that a sheet of paper cannot exist without clouds, trees, rain, and people, which means we think that we are alone, but we are everything. We are being seen in everything. So that's where, like, every person's thoughts also affect the entire universe. And that's where he termed the coin called interbeing, and said that, we should all need to live with mindfulness practices. It's not a path that he have laid. It's not a mere tool, but rather as a path. And in the year 1984, his father has vacated his body. However, he was unable to return to Vietnam. And again, with his teachings, he have explicitly created an example that even the loved ones will never truly leave, and they keep continue by living in every cell of our being. That's where he keeps saying that listening as a profound practice as well, that we can even listen to our ancestors in ourselves. So that much of profound interconnectedness our body carries. And he explains the importance of the body as well, of how deeply our roots are, how the DNA has been made. And when we listen deeply, we can even end the karma of the ancestors as well through our own practices. So then again, he wrote many influential books like The Heart of the Buddha's Teachings. And he wrote a book on anger, how to cool the flames, and how he wrote the books on Anapanasati Sutta, like mindfulness of breathing and the foundations of mindfulness. And his famous one of the book is Old Path, White Clouds as well. So, and his books also have been translated in many languages, and he have wrote many letters also to the Mother Earth as well, because he have felt that when we are writing a letter, we are going to the frequency of that person. We are touching the frequency of that person. So when I say person is not just a human being, like he wrote the love letters to the earth by highlighting the environmental teachings as well, and by highlighting his relationship with the planet, to deepen the relationship with the planet. So he felt that's where one get to uh, literally to the frequency of that person, and they get connected to their energies. And throughout the 90s and 2000, his Plum Village, like the community influence, grew internationally as well. And they opened the centers across US, Europe, Thailand, and Australia. And he created many mindfulness trainings. And he created a universal ethical code also addressing violence, fear, greed, and how to get rid of them, and how one should be connected with the heart. And this code was also presented at the White House, the Indian Parliament, the World Economic Forum, and he has helped inspire UNESCO's as well, UNESCO's manifesto, which gathered over nearly 70 million signatures. So this was his one of his profound work of how it has reached to the government, and from there how it has touched the hearts of many millions of people. So after the year 2001, like after the World Trade Center attacks, so Thai led walking meditations at ground zero, so calling for non-violence and forgiveness. This shows not only on his preaching, but also his boldness based on his compassion. He spoke boldly against the Iraq war as well, not just speaking about his own country like the Vietnam, but spoke about the Iraq war, teaching that compassion is the true strength, it's not weakness. And in 2005, after decades in exile, finally he returned to Vietnam, and he gave many talks on the Buddhist teachings, and he proposed many proposals to incorporate this mindfulness education, mindfulness path into the education as well. However, later the government have shut down his monastery, but his teachings grew exponentially, like globally. So that is why if one door closes, another 100 doors will open. So this should be the foundation for everyone as well. So when something happens to us, don't close the door, masters. Maybe if that door closes, another door opens. It keeps on opening. So this is how he was an example for that. And again, in those period as well, he expanded the term called applied Buddhism. So he prepared the mindfulness to schools, and like the wake up school programs, the healthcare, and he reached out to businesses and politics. And he majorly promoted the vegan, plant-based vegan lifestyle as well. And he promoted as a powerful practice for reducing the suffering and protection on the planet Earth. He emphasized as mindfulness as a path. He does not emphasize as a tool. And finally, in the year 2014, Thai led a 21-day retreat exploring the art of living and dying as well, sharing his deep insights on impermanence and presence. So later in the year 2010, I think, sorry, 2 years or 3 years before, he vacated his body. However, his works as a simple monk is very profound, who has dedicated his life to awakening the hearts of all beings. And his lifetime of teachings and writings are like The Miracles of Mindfulness, The Heart of Buddha's Teachings, Old Path, White Clouds, and Silence as well. And these books continued to guide millions of people on the path of peace, compassion, and true happiness. So, see, my dear masters, this is how a simple monk has reached widely um, to the entire, like I would say, globally. He reached out globally by cultivating the practice of mindfulness to each and everyone, by teaching how we need to slow down the things, by teaching how we have to listen completely to ourselves, like by having the compassion, and how we need to surrender to ourselves. So these are some of his profound teachings, and this is about his journey in short. Oh, thank you all. And with this, we will start our meditation. So I request all of you to have some glass of water and sit in a comfortable posture. Gently close your eyes. By clasping your hands, crossing your legs. Be with the normal, natural breath. Don't get carried away with your thoughts, and just feel how your thoughts are also interconnected, and shift the consciousness of your thoughts by observing the breath. Be in the present moment. The breath is the only doorway for us to be in the present. With the help of the music, let us go to the deeper states. And let us express gratitude for everything in our life. Final 2 minutes. Try to slowly bring back your awareness. Just 2 more minutes. Do not open your eyes, masters. Final 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now gently place your hands over your eyes for a few seconds. Once you're ready, you may remove your hands and you may open your eyes. And please have some glass of water once you open your eyes, masters. Oh, thank you. Thank you everyone for listening. And if anyone wants to share anything, please you may raise your hand so that we unmute you. So thanks a lot. Oh, it's a privilege for me to discuss about this author Thich Nhat Hanh on this day. So for such a profound wisdom and for such a beautiful journey that he have gone through and how he have touched millions of people on the planet Earth. So with this, we will close the session, and tomorrow we'll be having again the session by me on Sita Ma, Mata Sita. So thank you all and wish you all a lovely time. Thank you. Namaste. My masters. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Master Nilima, for choosing Thich Nhat Hanh Master and for sharing his wisdom, his story, especially the mindfulness meditation, which he has shared, is very, very important in this during these times. Thanks a lot. And yes, what you read about the book Silence, I also read. It is such a great book, my dear friends. I request everyone to please read that book. I think so. Nilima is going to take session also on that book. We'll update you when, yeah. Yeah, Nilima, please let us know whenever you take that wisdom on that book. Thank you so much once again, Nilima, and yes, masters. So let's connect again tomorrow with Sitama wisdom from Nilima. Okay, thank you all. Good night.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.